friends and enthusiasts, welcome back to 0122 Motori. Today guys, we return to talk about the Lancer, which we all love, and do it with Mario, as you know, who's been a great help in our previous discussions on this topic. However, we've already featured this amazing Lancer model on our channel, showcasing its pure beauty. It was an absolute delight for us all. But today we'll focus more specifically upon another slightly different aspect, namely how such cars can also be used practically within everyday life scenarios too. So if not done yet, please subscribe now onto 00122 Motori, because remember, it's free of charge, plus nobody will come knocking at your door carrying encyclopedias either. And finally, don't forget leaving behind some nice likes if haven't already done so before. Then see you soon. So Mario, let's say Lancer Evo version.
2006 GSR version.
So, why did we make this video? Because I had the pleasure of bringing it to you on the channel, especially because every time someone showcases a Lancer Evo, it's like presenting a gem, right?
It is always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure, yes. And anyway, here on the channel there are interesting cars, so it would be great to focus in depth on this car again. However, today we wanted to tell it in a slightly different way, because Mario uses it fundamentally as a family car, which is a bit of an anomaly for sure, but it's rare. As you will explain, it's not that. It's prohibitive to do this. You just need to take some precautions, etc. So I would start right away by giving the floor to Mario. Tell us a bit about when you got this car, where you got it from, and which channel you used to bring it to Italy. Let's not go too deep into the characteristics of this car, which we know is well known. Just a few small modifications you've made, and then let's get right to the focus. Okay?
Yes. I bought the car in December 2013. Clearly it had already been out of production for several years, so I purchased it used. The channel I used to search for it is basically the internet, both on social media and also a famous site, Autoscout, one of the most well-known. Through Autoscout, after a few months of searching, I found the right listing and went to pick it up. They were all from northern Italy, so specifically I went to get it in Mestre, but the owner was actually 100 kilometers even further north of Mestre. However, we essentially met halfway.
Did you perhaps use any clubs before getting there?
Did you get any advice, perhaps some useful advice? At the time there was a forum on the Lancer Evo Club. Today this forum no longer exists. Yes, the one founded by Daniele.
Go check out the video we made about 2 years ago. You can still find it on the channel. And it's a really interesting video.
Yes, definitely. So the forum was essential because it was possible to contact people directly, or simply go back and read through the discussions. The old posts where the characteristics to look for in a used car were listed.
So once you chose the model, did you go straight to searching through these channels?
Yes, we went to Mestre and Daniele accompanied me as an expert. It takes a person who understands, and in any case, we had the car checked by a mechanic. We went to a mechanic who lifted it for us, allowing us to check the condition of the underbody. One of the issues with this type of car is rust.
Yes, it appears especially in northern Italy, where perhaps with the snow and salt, it wears out more easily. Let me ask you something. Did you get it when it was original, or had some modifications already been made compared to the version?
No, the car is original. The wheels are its original ones. The exhaust manifold is original. The turbo is original. I have kept the car stock because this way it is a car that doesn't have problems. It never has problems.
So let's get back to the focus and move over here, because it's starting to get warm. Maybe we should sit over there. Today I wanted to address the topic of the Lancer with some particular aspects, because as we said before, for you this is a family car. What precautions are needed to use a car like this, which is already recognizable by the presence of the dashboard? just look at that spoiler. It definitely stands out. Every day, or at least not every day because of how you use it. You take public transport to work, so it's not really used for delivery purposes. It's simply not possible to use it for delivery. That would be madness. It would ruin it, wouldn't it?
Yes, it's clear that it's a wear and tear that makes no sense because driving in traffic with the constant stopping clutch, it's an agony.
This car doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it.
And then, however, let's say it's amazing. I mean, when you go on vacation, you rightly take this car.
Yes, I go with her. Of course, clearly, the fuel consumption is not that of a diesel. So one has to take this into account, but for the rest, it is a very usable car.
Listen, but you said, what is the main issue you encountered when doing this work on this car while on vacation? You mentioned the fuel, right?
Yes, clearly. It is difficult to find gasoline at 108 octane, so one must always use 95 octane gasoline.
And to do this, what have you done about this problem?
To do this, the control unit allows for a second map, which is therefore specifically calibrated to use 95 octane gasoline while avoiding the risk of knock.
So besides that, how does the car respond to this kind of use? How many are you in the family? 4.
There are 4 of us. And I noticed that there is also a child seat in the back. So the space in the car, compared to modern cars, definitely offers superior space and capabilities. Partly because it is a project from the early 2000s, it is certainly a sedan, but modern designs require a sacrifice in terms of habitability to provide advantages in terms of safety in case of an accident, such as intrusion bars that take up space and therefore occupy the environment.
However, it is not a safe car. It is not a post-war vehicle. It is a car from 2006, for goodness sake. To be clearer, we might be a bit strict regarding the pollution parameters.
There's a Euro 4.
In Rome, we will see if the problem has already started a bit in northern Italy. Blessed are we to be enjoying ourselves, staying away from the densely populated and critical areas like the ones we just filmed. So besides that, what have you done aesthetically? Was it like this and you kept it that way? Did you tint the windows? Did you do anything else?
The dark windows were already like that when I got it. I had them painted just 2 years ago. Precisely because the previous owner clearly did not do a proper job.
Okay, he was a gentleman.
It deserves it. The car deserves it.
Listen, one more thing. Let's talk for a moment about maintenance, which is clearly closely related to how much you use the car. So how do you use it at home? More or less, what maintenance do you perform on this car?
I follow the standards defined at the forum level, which certainly also include a more extreme and skilled use compared to what I do.
But I believe that, yes, give me a parameter. How often do you do the oil truck?
I am having a service every 6 months.
How much would it be per kilometer?
Or 5,000 kilometers. But it's difficult to cover 5,000 kilometers in 6 months with a car like this. I have never managed to do it in 10 years. How many liters does it hold? What oil do you use? And roughly how much does it cost to have it changed? The oil is a 10W60 from Shell Helix, and 5 liters cost around 60-70 euros, so it's not too much. Then, of course, every time there is the air filter change and the oil filter change. So do you clean it or do you just replace it?
No, I'm changing it. What are you doing, cleaning it or changing it? Really? No, I'm changing it. Okay, I'm changing it. I'm changing it.
And also because if it is subject to wear, it then becomes a problem, right? If more or less air enters compared to what is established.
So there is a panel.
Risk of excessive weight loss, and then it affects the rubber.
Is there a risk of finding a sports panel, meaning one of the original ones?
Yes.
Okay. And I saw other things here like this one, an aesthetic kit that was already on the car. Right.
He already had it, even though the car comes with it as an optional feature.
Okay.
So it couldn't be missing on all the GSR.
So can you tell me the story about, because this one you told me was imported from England.
Yes, it was Back then, the issue of the super tax and the tax paid on horsepower didn't exist yet. Okay.
Let's move it a bit over here because soon we'll really evaporate. Are you coming too, Gio?
So the previous owner, perhaps for resale purposes, had it registered for left-hand drive, making it suitable for our market. He had it registered first in England, where it is easier to do custom registrations. Okay. He had it registered by modifying, fortunately I had, the approval of the wheels, because otherwise the standard GSRs are only homologated for 17-inch wheels, while this one already has a couple of sizes for 18 inches listed in the documentation. And what was the topic? However, he had it registered with 284 kilowatts, which makes no sense. So you paid for it yourself. I bought it thinking there was a transcription error during the subsequent importation to Italy. In fact, I had the nationalization process reopened, and they called me to tell me that I was indeed right. It must have been a transcription error. Instead of 284 on the technical sheet sent by the English Vehicle Registration Authority, it was 272, see? So I was expecting 216, which was the standard Mitsubishi homologation. But let's look on the bright side. From the tax agency, you will never have problems. Oh no, I paid. I can only get my money back. I paid more than what the actual power of the car is.
Jokes aside, you found a car that comes from England. After all, this is a left-hand drive.
It was originally designed for left-hand drive, so it has not been converted.
Which is already a rare gem because, like it or not, these originals...
But it is precisely proof that it was a reasoning made by a professional, a savvy person.
All right, listen. Surely some friend or subscriber has brought a Lancer to the channel, and then you should let us hear it too, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So now we will organize ourselves, take a little tour around here, keeping in mind that today is quite a busy day with traffic because it's a nice day. We're in a parking lot which is starting to fill up, so we will try to do our best while adhering to the rules. We will go and savor the experience from the inside to also share the sensations that this car provides gladly. Let's go inside then. So Mario, we're inside. I see a lot here. You've enhanced the instrumentation. Now let's turn the camera. Actually, let's talk, and then I'll show you some images. What do you want to see?
First is turbo pressure gauge, then AFR. If sensor is broken, replace next month. Unfortunately, these sensors break every 2 years.
So more than anything now, give us some information about the usefulness of these sensors, because I understood it, but...
Of course, they are all important for understanding whether the operating context of the car is within safety limits. So the turbo pressure has been slightly increased normally. It should be around 1.2 bar in stock form. In our case, we can reach 1.5.
Okay, but do you have it based on the map you select? No, that's how it is.
This other one, however, is very important, perhaps more important than the other, as it serves to verify the air-fuel ratio, which is crucial for understanding if there is indeed a mixture, exactly if the mixture is rich enough to prevent pre-ignition phenomena.
And this one is at the oil temperature?
It's the oil temperature because clearly these are cars that are subject to high stress, so it's important to stop before the oil becomes too thin. Therefore, when you're on the track and reach around 120, 125 degrees, it might be time to start cooling down. Alternatively, when starting the engine cold, it is important to be very gentle on the accelerator before the oil reaches operating temperature, as the oil is clearly very thick at low temperatures and therefore does not provide proper protection and lubrication.
Listen, down here, these additional ones, this is the oil pressure. And over there, what about the fuel pressure?
Of the gasoline, but we haven't implemented it. This instead is the temperature of the exhaust gases.
Let's go take a ride then, come on.
Let's go.
Let's say that the exhaust is definitely noticeable. Yes. The exhaust sounds nice. It's true that we have the windows open, but I would say that's how it should be.
It seems to me the right accompaniment, the right setting.
Is this the sound of the brakes? Is this the sports pad?
Yes, they are from the Moon Project. They can clearly manage the temperatures generated during extreme use on the track. Remember, near Rome there is Vallelunga, which is a track with various breaking points from 200 km/h to 60.
So let's say that if someone wants to have fun, they can have fun, even with the family. So yes, the car, let's say. Here it is. Wow, guys, what a piece of work. Then we say when the car is your home and you can take it that way and get comfortable, you feel. But so take a moment to see how the tools respond. I was looking ahead and didn't look at the part of we're still at 87, so in the end we are at 87, so in the end, what about the ratio? What about the temperature of hate? Is there any fauna?
Yes, the standard, let's say, normal operating temperature is around 80, 86 degrees. Beautiful, 86 degrees.
Beautiful. A carousel. Is there really a carousel at home? Yes, yes, yes. There is a video game. Look at it. It's really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I have the roller coaster.
It's not exactly at a level of technological expression that is very, very, let's say, dense, right? Because I see that there you have driving selections. Asphalt. Tangled up, Mario. Are you tangled up, Mario? Guys. There is a symphony then among these streets. You can really feel. Oh my goodness, guys, they don't make these cars anymore.
No, they are totally analog, so...
They don't make them anymore. We're losing out, moving to electric cars.
There is no traction control on this car. Everything is direct.
Hey, what's the top speed of this car?
I don't know, I've never reached it. I'm not one of those who seeks top speed. But here, I think we're around 250. Doesn't his work do this? No, it's not a top-speed car, because with all-wheel drive, at high speeds, there are frictions that absorb a lot of power.
Aside from everything, I felt a really balanced car when we entered the corner. It must also be thanks to the setup you installed, or in any case, compared to before. Did you find it? I mean, has it changed a lot, or is it already like this from the start?
No, the setup is the original Blistera, which is definitely a very good setup. However, the Holland's road and track is a step up for sure.
I read just under 120,000 kilometers on the odometer.
Yes, I have done them. When I got it, it had 48,000, so I have done 70,000.
So in the end of the second, is it almost always you?
Yes, by now I can say that I did most of it. Now it's from the fourth. I want to meet.
Hard arch. Oh my, this is nice. From second gear, a bit like this.
Get some satisfaction.
Oh my, if you take it off. And when are you going to sell a car like that?
You no longer sell it because in the end you are dependent.
But I believe it. Like all beautiful things, this video also comes to an end. We had fun. As a family car, I absolutely recommend it. If you want to have fun, it's a spectacular thing. Comfortable. It consumes just the right amount. We can say it's just right because it runs just right.
If we make a performance to consumption ratio, it makes sense.
And then in the end, as we say in the car, they don't make cars like that anymore, guys.
No, precisely. As for what is brutal, it is difficult to find in the more modern production cars.
Yes, then I don't want to get into the debate about the integral.
Guys, I can't choose. They are all beautiful cars.
They are all beautiful cars. If you have the opportunity, if you have the space, go for it. Make the purchase. Take this leap because this is a car that is starting to become a challenge to control. If you find it, how much is it?
3540. I believe they are now over 40.
And if you find them at a lower price, you have to go check it out because if you find it...
Yes, the fact is that there are very few specimens. So generally those that are available for sale are specimens that come from Eastern Europe.
Then maybe the Lancer 9, the Lancer 8 is also fine, but you need to make sure the car is in good condition because in the end, with the right precautions, as I mentioned in the other video, I repeat for those who haven't seen it, with the right precautions, the car becomes as high performing as this one. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I invite you to subscribe further to the channel. After all, for videos like this, guys, fall in love with this car, and for those who still don't have it, if you have questions, feel free to write them in the comments so that either I or Mario can respond to you. I've noticed that this car, as Mario mentioned, is often interesting on the road. In fact, people notice it, not just for the noise, but some even turn around just to admire the car.
Exactly.
It is rare gem.
It is a rare gem, yes.
A bit this white like this. I mean...
It strikes.
All right, guys.
It brings a smile. In fact, it puts a nice smile on the lips.
And also the children. So guys, I invite you to subscribe. We'll see you next time. And thank you, Mario, for bringing the answer to the channel once again.
A pleasure.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.